first of all, for being here, taking time out on a busy Friday evening and being here. We represent an international media organization called ITP Media. And in India, we have around 9 brands that 9 sectors that we are covering. Manufacturing today being one of the sector that we are covering here. And today we are here to talk about how digital transformation is very important to the manufacturing sector. Can we have the presentation, please? So when we talk about digital transformation, what is digital transformation? So when we talk about that, we are talking about implementing new digital technologies to improve all aspects of the manufacturing process. And it can be a wholesome approach or piece by piece implementation, which many companies are doing, where software applications and digitization are the biggest drivers. And the critical areas of digitization in manufacturing are improved operation, providing better customer services, and the big data. So what are the benefits of digital transformation in manufacturing industries? We talk about increased operational efficiency. Now, what does increased operational efficiency mean? It means streamlining of the workflows, automation of processes, enabling the real-time monitoring, resulting in increased operational efficiency, etc. Improved product quality and innovation. There we talk about quality control, enabling remote inspection, enhancing product development, fostering innovation, and delivering superior quality products. Enhanced supply chain management is another benefit of digital transformation, where we talk about optimizing the SCM, demand forecasting, inventory management, and logistics, where you ensure there are seamless operations and we reduce lead time, improve customer satisfaction, etc. These are the current trends that we are noticing in the manufacturing industry when it comes to digital transformation. We have automation and robotics, where we are talking about adoption of automation and robotic technology in revolutionizing the manufacturing operation, increasing productivity, and ensuring consistent quality. Next is IoT and connected devices, where we talk about enabling real-time monitoring and predictive maintenance, improved quality SCM, leading to enhanced efficiency and reduced costs. AI and machine learning, which is a very important part, where we are empowering manufacturers to analyze the large volumes of data that everyone is creating, to optimize the processes, make data-driven decisions, and enable predictive maintenance. AR and VR are another technology, which is transferring the manufacturing industry by providing immersive experience and enhancing training, enabling remote collaborations, and improving product design and prototyping. The last one being data analytics and predictive maintenance. Here, the techniques and predictive maintenance is very important. Manufacturers can gain valuable insights, optimize and asset performance, reduce downtime, and minimize maintenance cost. This is somewhat the future of factory of the future, where you can see in industrial augmented reality, IoT sensors which being used, modular equipments, computer visions, wearables, blockchain, etc. Now coming to what are the common pitfalls of scaling digital transformation. There are 5 common reasons that we think are the common pitfalls. One is the siloed implementation. Now what do you mean by siloed implementation? That's where, by pursuing digital transformation as a theoretical exercise, many companies unwittingly set up independent delivery teams that are decoupled from business leaders. So there is no communication happening between 2 teams where you can actually leverage from digital transformation. Now, failure to adopt. By deploying one-size-fits-it-all approach, manufacturers miss the opportunity to build in the customization and adoption needed to leverage the unique circumstances that are there, for whether it's culture, values, or separate factory sites. Analysis paralysis. Performing a full and deep upfront analysis of an entire network can leave a manufacturer out of steam before a transformation can get off the ground. So instead, robust, accurate, enough insights can be gleaned from a well-developed extrapolation. technology driven rather than value driven. A technology first rollout means solutions that are deployed without a clear link to real value opportunities, where business challenges or capability requirements are not paid heed. The result is undermining crucial buy-ins from people charged with making deployment work. Now, letting the perfect defeat the good. So we all wait for that one perfect solution that can happen to our manufacturing sector. That the ideal state data or IT or OT architecture is defined and implemented before rolling out. We wait for that, but we lose on the shorter time to implement that can be made possible through a proven and pragmatic minimal viable architecture. Today we are here to discuss what can be done and how can we start with digital transformation and how it is important for manufacturers to discuss and implement digital transformation in whatever way it is possible for their organization. So we have a very good panel here. I would request everyone to introduce themselves in as short as possible. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Zishan Patel. I take care of the security operation business for India in ServiceNow. Been with ServiceNow for last 2 years, and it's been over like 18 years into the security industry for me. Yeah, thank you.
Hello everyone, good evening. I am Priyank Jain. I am also part of ServiceNow, and I am looking after Pune region, basically to Pune customers. And I am an advisory solution consultant. Mostly the technical aspects of your queries and something which comes up, I will take care of it. Thank you.
My name is Abhijit Pawar. I am from Mumbai, part of ServiceNow team. I am also working as an advisory solution consultant. I do manage couple of big conglomerates in India West region.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Kamna Sama. I lead the IT function for engines and components business in Cummins India. Been with Cummins for almost 3 years now, and prior to that I was with TCS Tata Consultancy Services for almost 18 years.
So I'm Subhash Singh. I got around 30 plus years of experience. As of now, I'm working with Deepak Fertilizer as a CISO and heading the digital for them, smart factory and all the digitals.
Hi, good evening everyone. My name is Praveen Karve. I work as president in Thermax Babcock Wilcox Energy Solutions. We have 3 manufacturing and 1 assembly plant. That is how I am connected to the manufacturing, and I am looking forward to seeing. We are a custom manufacturing industry, looking forward to seeing what implementations have been done by mass producing industries.
Hi, myself Vikas. So I'm from Bajaj Auto. I'm taking care of manufacturing engineering division in Chakan plant. So in Chakan, actually we have 2 plants and 2 are other locations. So I'm associated with Bajaj Auto since last 12 plus years almost. And we are almost in mid of this smart manufacturing and all actually.
My name is Pushkar Gokhale. As you can see, I head the security vertical for Godrej and Boys. So we are basically into safes and all the security equipment to offer peace of mind to our customers. So I head that business and glad to be here. Thank you.
My name is Akash Desai and I lead the solution consulting team within ServiceNow. My team is the team which will ask you the why question and provide you the how answer.
Hello everyone, I am Shailesh Sharma. I am head of operation for SKF India. Actually SKF, part of SKF India, but I am responsible for India and Southeast Asia for 6 manufacturing plants, logistic and sourcing. Looking forward to discussion today.
Hi everyone, this is Mikesh Kuti. So I lead the customer and industry workflows business for ServiceNow in India. So anything to do with transforming customer experience, trying to see how you can influence customer service, all of that really comes under my purview. So looking forward to really kind of introduce to you how is it that we are working with organizations in the manufacturing space. A lot of traction, a lot of work that we are doing in this area. So very, very keen to kind of talk about how is it that we could really help. So.
This is Chandrakant Dange from ZF Steering Gear India Limited. We are in the business of hydraulic power steering gears and since last more than 35 years. And we are interested in digitizing our plants, which is one in Pune, one in Indore, and one is coming up in Supa. So at these three plants, and these are the companies which manufacture for each other and supply components to each other, and two companies, they produce the final product. So we are interested. We are sitting in a balcony and looking at the digitization and would like to get introduced to it very fast.
I am part of this, why team, what he said, basically, if you have any questions how to do it, okay, probably we can tell you, how to do it. So I'm Nitish and part of a solution consulting team based out of Mumbai.
I am Sonali Mure. I am working with Sandvik Government. I am the production unit director for tools, and we are trying to digitize our shop floor and make our manufacturing smart. So really looking forward to today's session. Thank you.
I am Vishwajit Singh. I am from Bristol, and in my current assignment, I am planted for manufacturing facility at Chakan. Looking forward for a meaningful interaction today.
Hello everyone, my name is Zahir Sheikh. I am from Sopan Group. We are an EPC company as well as a manufacturing company catering to energy industry, specifically focusing on the oil and gas industry. I head the strategy part at Sopan, part of which is also the digitalization of the currently used systems and processes, such as and we not only are trying to digitalize our own internal processes, but we are also helping implement digital solutions to our clients, such as digital oil field solutions, and for utilities, the revenue management and the billing process and systems, all of that.
I am Ratesh Pathak. You can see it's written here professor because I'm also a researcher on various manufacturing organizations which implement digitization. And I have been part of a strategy advisory group which is implementing the entire digitization in Sopan along with Mr. Zahir Seth and Mr. Sarang. So we are representing Sopan group. And because of my experience in government, academia and industry, we are trying to bring the best practices from all these three places towards manufacturing. Because my specialization is in manufacturing. I have actually worked in manufacturing for almost 22 years on shop floors. So we are trying to digitize majority of the shop floors.
So I am Sarang Kale, and I'm an assistant manager into corporate strategy and digital transformation at Sopan Group. I was also associated with Siemens till last year.
Good evening. My name is A.V. Jefferson. I Bajaj recently, so I am filling the solution architect, and I am from Akudi. And
good evening, everybody. My name is Satish Kanjaria. I am working as an IT service delivery manager for the Bajaj Auto since last 15 years. So we have Bajaj Auto have 5 plants across the India, as you know, 3 plants in the Maharashtra and 1 is Uttarakhand plant. So we are looking for the solutions where the different teams can work on the same platforms. As you know, in the industries, there is an IT team, one is IT service delivery, there is Azure solution, SAP team, all different teams are working on the silos. So we want to bring them on the same platform, so the collaboration should happen between all the teams and solution get delivered fastly to the customers. Yeah, thank you.
Good evening everyone, I am Hardik Pandey. I joined Bajaj Auto last year. I am currently a management trainee in the IT infra team in the MIS in Bajaj Auto. Looking forward to have a learning experience from the veterans of the industry.
Thank you everyone. May I request Akash Desai to give an introduction to what we are trying to achieve here and start the conversation before we can get on track again.
I'm sure everybody here would be wondering what is ServiceNow doing with the manufacturing team out here, right? ServiceNow, they are IT company, they are tech company, and we are core manufacturing. Talk about additive manufacturing, talk about robotic processes. We are keen to hear about that. What is ServiceNow doing in this space, basically? And I'm sure many of you would be having that curiosity. And in next 2 hours, what is it that we are going to talk about which will be relevant to you and how we are relevant to you? So let me give you a glimpse. ServiceNow as an organization, we started off in year 2004. Fred Leddy, who is our founder, he started this company with a very clear vision that I'm going to provide a platform to all my customers with some ready solutions which they can consume out of the box, plus the platform would be capable enough which will allow the customers to build their own solutions if they want to, in addition to the out-of-the-box solutions. So that was the vision he started off with. It's not going to be just another application which will serve XYZ purpose for a customer. It will not be a siloed app, but it will be something which the customers can expand, customer can develop and build solutions which are very niche and specific for their environment. In addition to, of course, the ready solutions that will come along with the platform. So that vision really caught the fancy of a lot of our customers globally. In fact, from 2011, we have seen a huge growth, actually a hockey-stick growth, because this particular concept got started, it really got traction. It got, the customer's attention. They started seeing value from, I would say, year 2011 onwards. From there till now, there has been no looking back. We have been growing almost 30 to 40% year on year. 6 years ago, when I joined ServiceNow, we were kind of, at $100 a stock. Today, in 6 years, we are $750 stock. And it's still on the upward swing, where you can see recession and most of the other tech company stocks going down. We are going against the market, actually, growing against the market. So why so? What is the reason behind this? So as I said, it's going to be a platform. So platform is not limited to a particular functionality. This platform kept on accumulating new and new capabilities, something that we did for our customers developed for themselves, and then we actually incorporated that back into the platform as solutions which other similar customers can use. So it was kind of in a mutual way, our portfolio kept on expanding, right? So we came up with very industry-specific solutions. So earlier it was purely tech play. We were talking about, resolving IT tickets. We were talking about providing visibility to the IT assets in the organization, chain management, incident problem. I'm sure you're familiar with all those things. But the same platform started to cater to very specific industry solutions. Let's say, for example, Heineken plant, how do they maintain their maintenance schedule? How do they plan it? It was all happening on Excel. It was a tribal knowledge. This particular machine, it's 6 months, it has been running, it's due for a PM. And with that, it used to basically go on and do the maintenance and stuff, even though if it does not require a maintenance, because at the end of the day, how many cans you actually produce determines that when the PM is, preventive maintenance is due. But there were no mechanisms of capturing those statistics and creating auto alerts for the plant people to decide which equipment has to be serviced when. So with the ServiceNow platform, they actually started building those workflows and those solutions which allowed them to have that visibility that which component is due when for servicing, create auto alerts, assign the tasks to the right people. If the tasks are not addressed, then auto-escalate it to the next level, mark completion, and if there are some payouts to be done to the vendors and the partners, automatically trigger a next workflow for the billing team or the invoice team or the procurement team to settle the payment for the vendors who are doing the preventive maintenance. So all those things build on the same platform on which you are actually solving your IT tickets. So this was one of the solutions. Bookings.com. So today in US, in India, I'm sure many of you would have used this application called Book My Show. We use that to book movie tickets and all, right? So in US, again, Bookings.com is a big ServiceNow customer. And they started off with IT, and then they spread it everywhere in their organization. They started using it for admin, legal, facilities, HR, finance, all the different workflows. Also, the marketing team started using the platform to build solutions for event management. So let's say if there is a big Taylor Swift program that is happening in Superdome in US, and they are expecting some 40,000 attendees. Now, how to drive this program, printing the postures, doing a complete campaign management around it, all that collaboration, the workflows, the task assignment, how it will be reported, how it will be reviewed time to time, all that logic and the nuances was built on the ServiceNow platform, and they actually rolled it out and they use it for even. So many a times our customers surprise us in terms of we are not sure how the means even we would have not thought that platform can be used in such a way, but the customer surprises us saying we have used this for this purpose also. So the point I'm trying to make here is you can do so much of innovation on this platform. You can build your own solutions very specific for your requirements. So, and in parallel, of course, we have been doing a lot of technology acquisitions. In last 10 years, we would have almost done more than 60 to 70 or probably 100 acquisitions, technology acquisitions, to keep on enhancing our capability. So we are no more that IT service management company where, you know, ServiceNow is a great platform for ticket management. We have crossed that bridge long back, and we still continue to be, having said that, we still continue to be the market leader in that space by a huge margin. But we have not stopped there. So we have started building a lot of industry vertical solutions. We have solutions very specific for manufacturing. We have solutions very specific for banking, for insurance, for technology companies, media companies, for telecom companies. So this particular journey we started some 7-8 years ago, and now if you see the ServiceNow portfolio, it's kind of, you know, almost it rivals Microsoft in terms of the larger solutions plays, if I have to say that. So that's the kind of breadth that we have accomplished, and again, all on the same single platform. So Sujata pointed out one pitfall for technology adoption, right? Siloed systems, siloed applications, and that's what most of the customers today are struggling with. No fault of theirs, because when they started evolving technically, they bought the right solutions which was probably serving their need at that point in time. But what has happened over past 10, 15, 20 years, they have accumulated a lot of these silos. Now when you are driving workflows, when you are driving processes which traverse across all the systems, the handovers are still manual, unfortunately. It's email-based handover, it's a phone call-based handover. So I have to raise a purchase request. I will go into the SAP system and raise a PR. After that, I have to call somebody and say, "मैंने PR दे दिया, ये number है, अभी तो आगे कर." That is what happens, right? And then, or there is an email follow-up, but there is no automated ways of tracking where it is lying in the system. So if suddenly there is an escalation, some things have not happened in time, some critical part for your manufacturing, for your supply chain has not come in, and somebody at the top has to see why that has not come. Today, the organization has absolutely no visibility. It's again phone call, iska kya hua, uska kya hua. If I have a system where I can actually see, like an Amazon, that okay, the purchase request was raised for this particular part on so and so date, where in the cycle it is lying, where it is stuck, you know, it makes my life much more easier. If I get regular reports, I can take corrective actions upfront and prevent escalations. So this is exactly the problem that ServiceNow aims to solve. Okay, how we can eliminate those gaps, how we can eliminate those manual handoffs, and provide you a complete digital collaboration platform. So that is the relevance of ServiceNow when it comes to manufacturing. Again, once the slide comes up, I can show you everything that we do. But this was just one of the points that I wanted, the fundamental point, where the ServiceNow platform will provide you that single system of engagement to drive all your digital workflows in your manufacturing setup. So be it, you know, complementing your supply chain processes, your core ERP that is there, okay, or in terms of visibility of your OT assets, management of your OT asset life cycle, maintaining compliance around it. Now with OT booming, again Sujata mentioned IoT, OT, it's part of one of the pillars in digital transformation. How do you now handle this new thing? I'm not sure if you would have read the latest IBM report. They publish this security report every year, where they say from 2019 onwards, the security threat has grown, I think, at least 7 times in the OT space than in the IT. So now the OT threats are becoming far more critical than the IT, the classic IT security threats that you used to have in an organization. right? So today people are hacking into the OT systems of a particular company to sabotage, with the intention to sabotage, to compromise on the plant productivity, or to basically spoil the brand name. So these are the kind of attacks that are happening, and especially now that India is at the edge of becoming the global power in terms of manufacturing, lot of this kind of bad actors are going to come into the play. They are going to do this. Okay, they are going to prevent India from going to the next level. So OT threat, OT security has become so critical. Okay, it's I would say kind of taking a level higher than IT. So that's the reason why it's so important. So how do you manage those OT assets? You have to manage this ISO 55000 compliance around OT assets, right? How do you manage that today? So all the solutions ServiceNow has built specifically as part of our manufacturing vertical focus. So this was a brief, a very, I hopefully crisp, introduction to ServiceNow and how we are relevant in the manufacturing space and why we are here today. So with this precursor, I would request all of you to also share from your perspective that how your organization is taking up digital transformation. What are the current pain point or the challenges that you are trying to solve with digital transformation, and which areas you feel are critical for your organization to take the next leap. I think if we can have a round around it, it would be a great starter for the conversation.
So first of all, SKF is probably a big customer of ServiceNow. Overall investment request cycle is managed by ServiceNow, and IT access and so many things. But I didn't know that ServiceNow is also in manufacturing.
Yeah.
So when we talk about manufacturing, we have various functions like production, quality, supply chain, maintenance, all these functions are there. We are not able to find a good solution of a connected supply chain, where I'm seeing from customer to my steel supplier, how can I have a visibility of material flow and also order booking, lead time, throughput time, everything I would like to, and I've created this in phase manner. Okay, first, within factory, first of all, as soon as we receive raw material to the finished good, that is phase one. At least can I have a complete tracking? That is one. Second is then factory to my supplier warehouse, and from supplier warehouse to my tier 2 supplier, and this side then customer side from my warehouse, factory warehouse to distribution center, and from there to customers. So that is one thing where we are struggling little bit. Although in maintenance we have created a lot of good digitalization for our predictive analysis. SKF has made own sensors, IMX8, Axios, wireless sensors. We are also managing our energy management system through various sensors. So all these things are there. But the biggest problem is in the supply chain. So I am not sure whether, and this is a challenge we are facing.
So we'll just capture these challenges, and then probably again when we get back to the sessions, we'll try and address each of those challenges that you mentioned, because we have a complete team lined up, and they are going to talk specific about, there's a person going to talk about supply chain challenges, somebody will cover the OT and OTSM, OT service management, then we have Zishan covering cyber security and OT security, and so on and so forth.
So I think, at Godrej, and when you look at the way in which we started off manufacturing safes, I think we have been doing that for last 125 years. So to that extent, I think manufacturing of a safe has not been a concern. But I think post-COVID, we really accelerated this entire, and like other companies, we accelerated this entire digitalization initiative, especially in the manufacturing side, or I would say rather the entire supply chain, because what we saw internally when we started discussing and we said that, okay, digitalization karna hai. So, the first thing when the team said, nahi, we are different. So, that is always the thing, hum log alag hai bhai, itna easily nahi hoga. Because see what happens if you're, one of the challenges is that you've been doing certain things in a specific way for more than 100 years. It's very difficult for someone to really change. But I think we've gone over this entire thing, this change management thing. And what we have now done is we've looked at this entire thing in three buckets. One is the automation part, the second is the robotics, and third, which is very important for us, and that is also a part of our value system, is the sustainability. Because you can't really do without that particular area, because chalo maine robotics kar diya, automation, but ultimately the next thing is sustainability, and that's where the energy management and all those areas also come in, because we are going in for ISO 50001, and so that's something which should come in now. So that was the third aspect. Besides that, I think the other area was that how can we really implement this end to end. So how do we, as Mr. Sharma said, how do you really have a visibility, complete visibility? So what we have done, just to share, is that we have now started off with a QR coding on our products. And that is where we are able to actually track the products right up to the branch warehouse, and from there to the next primary at least, and then of course subsequently it all depends on how the channel partners actually enter it, what discipline they follow. So that is going to take some time, but at least whatever is within our full control, we are able to establish the visibility. So that is one thing which we have implemented. And of course, as a part of the entire supply chain digitalization, one very, very critical thing for us was the inventory management. Because we wanted to really see how the entire thing helps us in terms of the reduction in our working capital. And that's where all our supply chain partners, because there is a lot of bought out components and all that. So that was the other piece which we really worked on, to see how we can really establish this entire full kit. So we have implemented TOC in a big way, and that is actually helping us really improve this entire inventory management system, and also reduce the inventory in the system. And it's not just about our own inventory, but it also, we get into the inventory in the overall system, so right up to our channel partners. So because ultimately, channel mein agar maal pada hai, to then the entire thing we get stuck. So that's how we have looked at it. One challenge now, because I think most of it is now streamlined. The challenge which we are facing is that we are going in for exports in a big way. And so far we have been exporting to almost 60 countries across the globe. We have products which are certified by the Underwriters Lab, US, European certifications. Every country in Europe has its own set of certifications. And of course, India has its ISI and the BIS. Exports, typically what happens is we get in a lot of non-standard requirement. And every time there is a new challenge for us. And that piece is something which we really are working on, as to how can we address. So that's where we rather, I would not say stuck, but yes, it is a challenge for us to address, as to how we can really get that going, because many a times this entire thing gets delayed. The non-standard part, the lead times and the expectations of the customers, and our lead time, there is a much wider gap. And that is something which we are now trying to bridge. So that's about it from my side.
Basically, I wanted to start with this slide. And I wanted to preach to the choir. Industry 4.0. Everybody knows what's Industry 4.0. So the reason I'm showing you this slide is basically just to clarify where ServiceNow will play. So there's no confusion as to are we into big data, are we into AR, or into manufacturing, or any of that. Predominantly, we play into the space of cybersecurity, cloud computing, system integration, simulation, Internet of Things. Okay, so technology part of the manufacturing gamut. So this was the conversation I wanted to have, and I think we already started off on these conversations. What are the challenges that the manufacturing sector is facing today? Okay, always there is a cost pressure. then there is a pressure for digitalization, because I don't think there is any alternative way forward. Everybody has to digitize. It's a fact of life. We have to adapt and quickly reskill. I was just reading the magazine. The WEF, World Economic Forum, says 71 million jobs are going to get lost in this whole digital churn that is going to happen. But at the same time, the good news, it's also going to create 133 million new jobs. So every time a new technology or new motion starts, people are worried, oh, now am I going to get redundant? But you will be probably redeployed, or there is a repurposing of resources. So it's going to create more jobs than it's going to take. So it's a very positive motion, and all the organizations are onboarding on digitalization journey. People are talking about seamless customer experience, and this is something where most of the organizations are going. How do you provide a seamless experience, not only for your customers, but internal to your employees as well? How are you going to provide that kind of an experience? Correct? Today, if I have to order a pizza, or I want to order an ice cream, it's so easy. I have to teach any. My mom can, from her phone, goes to the Swiggy app, 3 clicks and the ice cream. Now come to the internal processes. If I have to raise a request, again that particular example, is it that simple? Okay, if I have to kind of declare a change, or I want to schedule a change management, is it that simple? It's a week of planning before I can announce that, okay, this is some change that we are going to get in the organization. It's that complex. So what is the complexity here? Is it that have the right technology? So is it the technology that is actually a problem, or is it providing that single connected experience that is the problem? If I want to today, again coming back to that PR request example, if I want to raise a purchase request, I can log in into SAP and raise a purchase request. But my process does not end there. I have to go to the next step then. That's where the problem is, the manual handoff, the manual follow-up, and there is no automated way of tracking the progress. That's where actually you lose time and you lose consistency, right? So these are some problems that the industry is trying to solve. The experience part of it, both for the customer and the internal employees. Then you have now ESG imperatives, okay? That is again discussed in all the boardrooms. Your carbon credits, yeah? How friendly you are. Today, how are you tracking that? So again, this is one of the important initiatives that all the organizations are talking about today, ESG, right? Sustainability and governance. How do you track it? How do you collect the feeds? How do you dashboard it? How do you know how much you are bleeding in terms of your ESG initiatives, right? And how do you correct it? Connected smart factories. People are talking about connected workforces, shop floor, digital shop floor collaborations. These are some, again, terms being thrown, and people are expected that we have to do this if we have to now go to the next level. How do we do that today, right? Cyber security, I just spoke a while back. I can't emphasize more on that one. So these are some challenges that all the organization, manufacturing companies across the globe are facing, right? I spoke about Fred Leddy and the vision behind the platform, and now today how that platform is providing solutions to the manufacturing companies across the various phases of manufacturing. So this is ServiceNow. How can ServiceNow help in design, your R&D portfolio optimization, your R&D related collaborations? ServiceNow can enable that for you. Yeah, your supplier collaboration, your vendor management, vendor onboarding, vendor risk management, vendor compliances, okay, vendor performance management. How do you manage all of that? ServiceNow has solutions for that. So similarly, across the value chain, if you see the make and the sell, somebody spoke about the logistics part of it. How do you send it to the warehouse, from warehouse to the tier 2 and so on? So how do you take care of the logistics part? How can you actually have a digitally enabled platform for reverse logistics as well? You may have to actually collect the goods back. Today, not many people have solutions around that. And it's again all done on Excel sheets. And if it's retail, then it's a nightmare if you are into the retail business, right? So how do you handle that part, the selling part of it? And then the service. Post-sell, how do you now keep your customers satisfied, happy, and make them buy more from you, come back to you again? How do you ensure that? How do you ensure your NPS? So if you see across all the tiers, ServiceNow has built solutions, right? In the subsequent sessions, we can get deep into each of these, but I just wanted to give you a glimpse of what we do. So at the end of the day, it's all digital workflows, and ServiceNow is all about enabling your digital workflows, okay? Architecturally, how this works. So you pointed out a very important point. We have been doing this for 100 years, 150 years. And so many organizations who have been like doing this for 50 years, 60 years, how can they overnight, throw away everything and say, okay, now abhi main digital jaunga, and now I don't want to use this. That's not going to happen. How the transition can happen, right? You cannot discard the systems, your systems of records that are already in place, okay? Because that's where your data lies. And honestly, those systems of records are also not a problem for you. You cannot say SAP is a problem for me. SAP really drives my whole supply chain. I cannot say SAP is a problem. It's just that I don't have something which provides me that single system of engagements which cuts through SAP, through my CRM system, through my billing system, invoice system, and provides a seamless experience for my employee as well as for my vendor or my partner or supplier or my customer. Okay, today that is what is lacking. So what ServiceNow does, again, so coming back to the platform, architecturally how we fit in your ecosystem. We provide that single system of engagement where you drive all your digital workflows. Your digital workflows could be related to, your digital workflows can be related to your supply chain, they can be related to your employee experience, they can be related to your customer experiences. ServiceNow will sit as that single system of engagement on top of all your existing investments that you have. So you would have a CRM system, you would have an ERP system, you would have probably a vendor risk management system or a vendor management system. You would have your factory systems, SCADA, all those plant automation systems you would have. ServiceNow integrates with all of these existing investments that you have made and provides a single system of engagement to your employees, to your partners, to your vendors, and it's up to you how you want to take it, how much you want to spread with this, whether you want to just keep it with your employees or with your partners or your customers, how you want to start your journey. Okay, you can start from anywhere. Having said that, we have also launched a lot of GenAI capabilities onto the platform. So moving forward, we are going to have a lot of GenAI capabilities which will power the capabilities that we already have. So let's say, for example, your customers, they send you complaints, issues. They may write some long essays, okay? Let's say, for example, I will give an example of a retail over here, and my retail experience has not been good. I will basically post a complaint to the company saying I visited your so-and-so retail outlet and I was dissatisfied and I could not get this on time. I placed an order, but again it got cancelled, and after they're trying to sell me a different product. So XYZ, it can be anything. So let's say you're getting 1 lakh cases a day or probably in a month. And then you have a team in the back end who is trying to address each of these. Most of the time, as a consumer, you would get an experience, I send an email but nobody responded. It just goes into the cloud somewhere, and sometimes you may get a response because you may never know the team in the back end is getting overwhelmed with the velocity of the cases that are coming in. Now every case, if I have to go through, because customers will vent out, they will probably write an essay that so-and-so date I went to the store, this was what I wanted to do. It will take at least 15-20 minutes for an agent in the backend who's trying to understand the problem. 15 minutes to understand the problem. It will take around good amount of time. So in a day, there is a limit to number of cases the team can handle. Now using AI capabilities, ServiceNow AI capability, I can bring that time down to 10 seconds. I can completely summarize what the end customer, the complaint that he's raised, saying that he is dissatisfied with so-and-so and this is his issue. So instead of spending some 15-20 minutes trying to understand what that customer is trying to say, the system does this summarization for me. This is what he wants. Also does the sentiment analysis, saying that this is the sentiment. Based on that, I can prioritize the case and I can start reverting to that customer more effectively and more quickly. So if from 15 minutes, if I'm able to bring that time down to 10 seconds, imagine I can then address all the complaints that I receive over a month. Then I have very happy customers. I have at least customers who believe that we will respond as an organization when there is a complaint, right? So these are some real use cases, benefits that GenAI provides to the customers today, the ServiceNow GenAI capabilities. As we speak, there are customers globally who have deployed the solutions, they're making use of these GenAI capabilities and serving the customers. Also, GenAI takes the self-help also to the next level. Okay, so that way you can do a lot of deflection, case deflection. So rather than customer raising a complaint, if you are enabling that customer with a good amount of capabilities and that he can do a self-help, okay, those cases will not come to you in the first place. And the customer is also satisfied because today there is a culture of self-help. Let me do it myself. If I can do it myself, I'll do it. It will be more quicker. Then I don't have to speak to an agent and go through that whole cycle of interaction. So these are the capabilities that ServiceNow bring to the table. So again, the message, we do not replace the existing systems. We basically supplement it and help you get more value of your existing investments, right? By providing that single tier of engagement for all your business workflows. That's ServiceNow. These are some tech acquisitions that we have made in last, again, from 2011 onwards. So every space we have been making investments. Today our revenue is almost around $10 billion globally, annually. $10 billion is our revenue. We are probably the only company in Silicon Valley which is investing back 50% of its earning into R&D. That's the amount of investment that we are making back into the R&D. This is one of the reasons why we are going against the trend when I spoke about the stock price. We are beating the trend. The other tech stocks are coming down, we are going up. The kind of bets that we are making on the technology, the relevant bets, which is really helping customers get value. We come up with 2 version releases every year, and all our versions are named on the cities. Today we are at the Washington, then we are going to have Xanadu and the next version from there on. We started with the Aspen version. So with every version, you get new and new capabilities. Now what is unique about ServiceNow here is, every acquisition that we do not retrofit that particular technology with the ServiceNow platform. Like for example, I would have acquired a company called Element AI. They are big name when it comes to artificial intelligence, Element AI. So it's not separate module which sits on top of ServiceNow. We acquire the technology, we break it down, we absorb it into the platform and we relaunch the platform. So it becomes an inherent capability of the platform rather than an external integration that you have to deal with again, right? So this is again one of the unique, I would say, architecture as technology company that we provide to the customer. So again, we have in last 6 years, we have done a lot of acquisitions around manufacturing as well. The recent acquisition we did was 4Industry. How many of you have heard of 4Industry? 4Industry. Okay, so they are a global company and they basically specialize in providing that digital connected workforce. So how I can have a connected workforce at the shop floor? Okay, how do I provide a digital experience for that person on the shop floor? How can I ensure his safety or all the other collaborations requirement that he would have on the shop floor? How you can enable that? So that's an acquisition that we made recently, and this is the mission about the company which I already explained. And we have enriched our portfolio with all this acquisition. So now if I have to just give you a glimpse of everything that we do in manufacturing, here is what it is. So I'm not going to, and I don't expect you to go through all of this, but just to give you a glimpse that So much we can do in manufacturing now. And these are all the solutions which our customers globally are using. Either they are using 70-80% of that, they are probably using just the product development piece of it, or probably just the automation part of it, or 1, 2, 3, it depends on the use cases to use cases. But we have a huge set of customers globally. These are the logos you see. BMW. BMW built a very unique solution on the ServiceNow platform. So again, as I said, the platform allows you to build whatever you want to do in addition to the out-of-the-box solution which I showed in the previous slide. BMW was struggling with actually spare management. So in India, let's say for example, I own a particular model of BMW and a part fails. And when I go to the service center, they would say this part has to come from Europe. We don't have it here. That's straight away 17 days of wait time for me. But what if they have a visibility that in Sri Lanka, BMW, the dealer out there, has a stock of those spares, and they can reroute the spare from Sri Lanka to India rather than shipping it from Europe, which will be much more costlier and also time consuming at the same time. It gives a far better experience for my customers. So BMW built this whole solution on ServiceNow for the spare management and how they can actually integrate all their dealers globally onto this platform. So they have at a click, a view, a dashboard of every inventory, all the SKUs that are lying globally in their dealer and network. So that's one of the case at BMW. They're already a customer, and then on top of that, they use the platform to build this solution. So this is not a ready out-of-the-box solution. This is something that they innovated on the platform. So that is one point I wanted to make over here. Heineken, I spoke about some innovative solutions that they have deployed. These are all manufacturing customers. Who? BMW? Yeah.
These customers are using that portfolio or other things in here? So you have got multiple things.
Correct. So they are using either most of it, some of it, combination of various different solutions, but these are all our customers using the portfolio that I showed previously. So these are all our existing customers.
Your portfolio is too large.
Yeah, correct.
And then what's your smart manufacturing portfolio shows? That is recently started, right?
Yeah, 2.5 years ago, yeah.
What's your customer you are showing? For that, who are your customers?
Smart manufacturing, again,
It is today's topic.
smart manufacturing, I would say BMW. BMW is one of the very recent examples.
There is the OT management and other things. So I want like manufacturing segment. Next slide. Yeah. Hold on.
This is portfolio wise split.
So if you look at the logos over here, okay, like for example, BMW, supplier collaboration and risk management. They are using that particular portfolio. Connected manufacturing workforce. I just spoke about the connected workforce, right? The digital. So that's Heineken and Danone, they are using those solutions. In fact, I was actually saving this for the next slides, where actually we have a deep dive into each of this, the OT management. So which customers globally are using our OT management solutions. You can see on the top out there. So they did not have OT visibility, OT lifecycle management, exception management. So these are the customers who are using ServiceNow OT management capabilities. Similarly, so we would not replace SCADA. So you continue to do that. Correct. Or which are out of the compliance, If you want to dashboard all those things, you can do that. The monitoring, dashboarding, and then action workflows. Sorry? Clarity. So Clarity will do the core job of OT management. Okay, we integrate with Clarity, and we basically create a CMDB specifically for OT. Now, if I have to do an OT lifecycle management, and then again dashboarding that which OT assets are compliant, they are non-compliant, all those things I can do once I integrate with Clarity. And then if for remediation, if I have to trigger workflows, that okay, I have to do a patch upgrade, or I have to replace this, or I have to retire this and or change the configuration, whatever. So there may be different workflows that will get triggered. all that workflow management, task management, then reporting around it, you can do it on the ServiceNow platform. Today, which Clarity will not allow you. It will not have those workflows. It will provide you that visibility. So we integrate with Clarity, we integrate with SCADA, and we pick up these feeds for you to then action on the ServiceNow platform. Today, you don't have an action platform.
Normally what happens, even if we know the patch what we want to upgrade or something, so that we couldn't do internally. We have to talk to OEM.
Correct.
And which is very critical. It
Correct.
is not like your IT.
Correct.
Very critical.
Very true.
We have tested. That OEM test. I am mainly from chemical industry.
Correct.
So OEM has to test first. Is that particular patch, whatsoever is there, is compatible to it or not, and to my environment again.
Correct.
Because in OT what happens, whatsoever systems we have got, normally they are old. Like IT we said that there is something when we will replace. Some shelf life we said 4 years, 5 years. Correct. And then afterward we change that. But in OT, normally the lifestyle is more than 20 years, 15 years, 25 years. Correct. And in that case, whatsoever we have got, whatsoever controls we have got, that we couldn't change overnight because it depends on their software itself. If their software is not compatible with that, even if we know that now Windows 7 is not applicable, but we have to use that. Correct. And we have to do some compensatory control to it. So that's the way it goes. So even if we know this workflow, so I'm not getting that how it will help us. But we know that it's a long cycle.
So in your case specifically, you are talking about how to deal with legacy systems because the remediation will again not touch the legacy system and you have to live with the legacy systems.
Yeah, it is for all the factories.
Correct. So
all the examples are related to say after sales service or maybe for other factory. But for core manufacturing and production, we have not seen any such examples, and that is the big main area.
So I can share with you, I'll go back. As a follow-up, I can share with you what exactly these guys are doing. Okay, when it comes to OT management and OT lifecycle management, OT security and all those kind of. So OT does not just stop at doing some remediation. There is an OT security element around it. Okay, then also you need to know the service impact. A lot of times you don't have the business context with the OT asset, right? So the CMDB that we build after integrating with solutions like Clarity, we have out-of-the-box connector for Clarity, by the way. So we integrate with Clarity, and once we pull in the information, we can provide business context to all those OT assets. So in case a particular OT asset has to go through a chain management, then you know that which particular production line will get impacted, how much will be time taken. So you can upfront notify those relevant stakeholders and bring them as a part of, bring them into the collaboration required for chain management.
But
so all this.
What you were saying.
Yeah.
This is about Clarity or maybe Microsoft product.
Yeah.
This is their capabilities.
Correct. These are our capabilities. This is ServiceNow capabilities. OT visibility, OT response. Yeah.
Even we are getting from Clarity or
correct.
That our tool. But you are saying that we have to keep that tool also.
Yeah. But today the problem is, again, the tool will not provide you the business context.
Yeah, I think the main difference, if I have to, my understanding, and I'll summarize it, is two aspects. One is legacy OT connectivity and management. Second aspect is mapping and doing a process map from a business context. I think
Correct.
what you're saying is your USP is the business context setting for that OT monitoring.
Exactly.
Otherwise, building a dashboard, getting the visibility of OT, getting the connectivity, setting and alerts is something that is possible in a custom environment build as well. I think a differentiation is that mapping exercise that
Correct.
you do basis the functions, that how an kind of maintenance activity over an OT would impact the businesses. I mean, that's how I'm reading this through.
It is that way.
Yeah.
You're reading it right. So, and thanks for summarizing that. So this is exactly what we do, providing that even the dependency map. So you can also see this OT asset is connected to which other devices and
So now I have a question.
Yeah.
So the question that I had then, I think is your platform kind of taking the knowledge from the ERP system and then linking it to the analysis from the OT system to create that process map? Is that how you are bringing in this knowledge, or is that someone who has to sit through and do this entire business process map?
Okay,
See,
so
because your system of engagements typically, the benefit of SOR,
and the layer between is only that the SOE can just provide the visualization. Till you
Action.
get the middle layer,
An
which
action.
is the business contextual layer.
Correct.
So what I'm trying to understand is the purpose of connecting your different pillar application systems, your ERP, your CRM, your MES, your SCADA, is the purpose of connecting to that platform the reason that each of your offerings are correlated, or is this business process mapping also a manual exercise that the teams have to do? Do I have to say in operations in my probably ATP area versus my machining area, line area versus my machining area, there is a difference. I need to map OTs in this is going to be under a maintenance in this duration. Do I have to actually manage it in the platform, feed it into the platform, or the platform is intelligent enough to understand that basis knowing that what is the process that is going to run, basis my knowledge from MES, my knowledge from SCADA, my knowledge from here. So that is my question.
See, again, the very idea of connecting all these SORs, the very idea of connecting all those SORs is to drive my workflow seamlessly end to end. That is the, I would say, primary purpose today, which is lacking, that single system of engagement, wherein again everything is like very system based, siloed. One of the points which Sujata highlighted, the pitfalls of digital transformation is getting stuck with too many silos. How do I get rid of it? I cannot throw away those silos. I cannot throw away those SORs because it's very specific, right? So how do I circumvent? How do I compensate for that? So I build a digital workflow platform on top of it, which integrates with each of that. Right from the trigger to the resolution is actually driven on that platform. It will update the system of records. It will pull in the information of system of records as required for the workflow to progress, but the entire workflow will be executed onto that platform. Now, when I do that, I achieve multiple things. One is predictability. Now that everything is tied on a single system of engagement, I can confidently say every time I raise a purchase request, it will take 2 days. Today, I don't have that. I confidently cannot say that it will take how much time, because it's inconsistent. It's very people dependent. There is no auto escalation, no auto follow-ups on those things. So it's very human dependent. So first thing is the predictability part of it. Second is the visibility. So I have cross-function visibility when I'm actually integrating this SOE with multiple SORs. Today, if I have to progress the workflow, I may require information from multiple different functions, which again I have to probably do a separate follow-up and gather that information. But if it's tied on a single workflow platform and other actors are also part of that particular workflow, then I have the information ready for me to take the decision and move the workflow forward. So I'm increasing the productivity, I'm increasing the visibility, and which increases the productivity basically. Third takeaway. Also, I am providing an opportunity to do process improvisation. Today, I do not know how my process runs. There is a set process, but each time the process runs, I do not know where the maximum lag is. Moment I bring it under this digital workflow umbrella, I can see that a particular chain management process for changing an equipment at a plant, okay, this particular process takes 25 days. And over a year, this was done probably 300 times. Now, every time that process ran, the maximum lag was when a vendor had to supply a spare associated with that particular thing. So you can immediately find out that probably the problem is there. Or you can see that probably it requires 7 levels of approvals for a workflow to go through. Why in workflow, this approval takes 5 days to basically come in. I have to then manually follow up, "Arey boss, approve karna tere inbox mein." That takes itself 5 days. So if I am able to see the trend, again, here is where the ServiceNow AI capability comes in. It will basically observe that trend, that this workflow has run, let's say, 300 times or 3,000 times, 5,000 times. This is an area, if you do this, you can probably bring down that process from 25 days today to probably 2.5 days. You can do continuous process improvement once you have this process digitally enabled. So these are some of the benefits. Of course, then the productivity, efficiency, once you bring it on a digital workflow, you can bring in automation also. You can again have AI to take certain decisions, and you can further speed up your processes. Lot of things you can do. Today, you do not have that avenue because you do not have a platform which ties all these workflows together. You do not have an enabler. The platform comes in as an enabler now for you to start doing all those things which you are not able to do earlier. So that is one of the biggest advantage. Now coming to the second part of the question, the OT discovery and those things. So today we integrate with Clarity and many other tools like this, and we import service mapping. If there is a mechanism to auto categorize, we can basically define a rule, and based on the auto categorization, it can actually create those groups and say this belongs to this and so on and so forth. We can define those logics while we do an import. Also, you can do manually also. So you may want to give a business context which is like not defined in the system. So you can basically do a manual allocation also. So both of those things are possible, but it will not be 100% automated. So I will just set that expectation right. It will not be 100% automated today. It's like, how much of feed you get, you can just work on that only. You can define some rules and logics around it. Based on that, it will do some auto categorization and auto grouping. But that's how far you can go today.
Database or network, I mean, you can draw it from, right?
Yes.
The experiences from some other industry. If
Yes.
I'm applying it, do you draw that? And for example, if I'm implementing it for my own organization, so can I get a best of all the so I've implemented it at several places, right? So you can come up with an input, or your system automatically adopts to that, your the ML model or algorithm, or already drawing it from the included someplace else, maybe in Europe, America, someplace else.
Correct.
So does it draw it, or it is exclusive to that? So there are privacy clauses that it cannot draw it from there.
Okay.
Because it is as intelligent as I provide the input.
Correct, absolutely. It's all about the tool is as good as the configuration. So you are right. Now we have something called as peer benchmark. That's again the platform capability. It's a ServiceNow platform capability. So when you sign up for a peer benchmark, you can actually see that which other customers globally, but you will see an average. You will not know the customer name because of the privacy issue, of course. But you will see that if these are some 10 KPIs that I am tracking on ServiceNow in my environment, those 10 KPIs, how are they faring against the industry benchmark? So there will be probably another 15-20 customers from the logos I showed who would be using those solutions. And they are also tracking that same KPI. It can vary on the scale of the organization. It can be use case based also. Like for example, I will just give you an example here. Banking. Okay, so loan operations. Now a person applies for a loan and it gets served in how much time? Okay, that's a metric that I want to track. Today it takes 21 days, let's say, for the loans to be disbursed. Okay, that's a KPI that I'm tracking. ServiceNow enables loan operations workflows, and enables the banks to actually process it faster and in an automated way. Lot of things we do around that. So if I'm a bank, let's say IDFC First Bank, and I'm using ServiceNow, I can see the same process. If ServiceNow's peer benchmark data, that other banks in US and Europe, they are probably taking 40 days to actually disburse loan. In fact, I'm better. I'm just doing it in 21 days. So I can kind of compare those metrics that I have built, which are again done by somebody else, and I can see how I compare to that. But now coming to the configuration part of it, very specific to you, we have a customer outcomes team, a global services team, which engages with customers and does the deployment as per the customer's needs and requirements. So we have a lot of IP from that perspective. So we have the manufacturing domain experts who basically provide consultation that how particular solution has to be deployed and all that. So they have that experience, that IP can be leveraged. So it goes into the services realm of the engagements.
So I had a query. We've seen here about the equipment downtime, and I think productivity is one major challenge which we are now trying to really work on, to predictive maintenance and condition-based monitoring systems. We were very clearly trying to sort out what is the runtime, downtime, uptime. You have mentioned here that 1 year payback period and reducing downtime. So what is it different which you bring to the table?
So here again,
in
I
this
will take
area?
example of Heineken is not here,
Because
but
we do have sensors, so I mean,
yeah.
which are there, which we have actually, fitted onto the machines and basically take the entire data and, but then how do you really do this? What is the difference? I'm not able to see what do you really bring to the table?
Okay, so I'll use an example of Heineken here. So Heineken, few years ago, what they used to do again, as a part of the preventive maintenance, they had a time-based schedule that every month they would basically run a PM cycle and the equipments will go through a refresh and some downtime and PM activities will be carried out. As part of the PM activity, there always used to be some change of the spare. It's like, you have taken a car, the upfront acquisition of the car is a different dollar value, but 5 years, हर 6 महीना सर्विस सेंटर आपको बुलाता है. हर 6 महीने में या तो वो बुशिंग जाता है या शॉक एब्जॉर्बर का कुछ इशू होता है, वाटर कूलेंट का इशू, समथिंग, एंड आई वंडर हाउ कम दिस सो मेनी प्रॉब्लम्स कैन कम ऑन द कार. ओके, सो those kind of things, mandatory change of spares, parts were done as a part of the PM. So they were incurring basically huge cost around that. Now, how can we change the paradigm? How can we change this? So can we pick up metrics from the SCADA and say that when it has done production of, let's say, 1 million cans or let's say 100,000 cans, only then I will run a PM cycle. Okay, and that PM cycle will consume so and so spares because then something has got consumed. So so it's a known thing that it becomes far more predictable that only when this happens those spares have to be changed. So the number of the PM cycles came down, the cost associated around those PMs, they came down. So they started seeing a huge benefit but how to do this, how to track this? So we basically integrated the SCADA system, picked up the feeds, created those alert mechanisms, then the workflows were triggered around it, which will do the task allocation, follow-up, payment, and so a lot of productivity was saved around it, time was saved around it. So these are some value stories that we have. But for each of this, we have very specific stories. We can separately connect with you over the dinner and probably as a follow-up meetings after these and take you through how each of these organizations are benefiting with our solutions. And of course, I am actually taking away a lot of thunder of the team. They have a lot to show on each of the solutions. So, what will you continue?
Yeah, you continue because the discussion is going in the right manner.
Thanks. So customer experience, again, this is a world by itself. This is like, it's a different domain. So hence we have got 2 people from customer experience who will talk today. So again, I will not steal their thunder, but again, we have customers using ServiceNow solution for customer experience, for logistics, for ERP modernization. ERP modernization is again something that we have focused a lot on last 4 to 5 years. So we acquired a company called GeckoBrain. Has anybody heard of GeckoBrain? It's a Europe-based company, and basically what they do, so they will analyze your ERP. And if I go by the Gartner report, 75% of the customers of SAP have done heavy customization of SAP. So one of the reasons why you will see legacy, true? More?
Yeah, more than that.
More than that? So Gartner is kind of a bit part. They said heavy customization, 75%. Okay. So good. It helps the story. So basically, a lot of customization has happened. Huge amount of customizations have happened, and because of that, what happens is customers are nervous to upgrade their SAP. अभी भी public कोई SAP अपना ECC 6.0 में है, कोई 4 में है, and they are like afraid. ये touch किया तो नौकरी जाएगा. So no CIO, no tech guy is basically willing to take that risk. And why? Because a lot of customization has happened around it. So what GeckoBrain has done is it understands, it studies this and basically takes away the customization from the SAP, makes the core quite clean, okay, so that you can fearlessly upgrade and move to the next version and so on and so forth. We have acquired the technology. We have acquired GeckoBrain. So now as a part of our ERP modernization, something we call as hollowing the core, we basically understand the kind of customizations that you have done. We can pull all those customizations onto the platform. So what customization that you did on SAP, SAP is great for ERP, but is it a workflow platform? The answer is no. They are not a low-code, no-code platform. Rather, now because you do customization, you have to maintain that. You better do it on low-code, no-code. So you don't have to do the scriptings. Your future upgrades are far more easier, seamless. You don't have to go through extensive test cycles when you do it on a low-code, no-code. So it basically makes you very nimble and helps you remain in the cutting edge when it comes to having a technology in your organization. So that is again something that we do, ERP modernization. Yes, 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 exactly, same. They are also a player. In fact, even additional money you have to pay. In fact, there are now many players who are now claiming to be low-code, no-code. Even Microsoft says that there are SFDC. Yes. But if you see the leader quadrants, yeah, correct. Correct. So correct. So we are, because this is our core. This is what we do for a living. You know, we are the platform is core to everything that we do. So we are in the leader quadrant of the Gartner when it comes to low-code, no-code platform. So hence, kind of, you know, a good alternate for you to basically move customizations out of SAP onto this platform and then run SAP as a SOR, your system of record. And again, we can keep talking about the use cases, but I think that will take another 1 hour. But modernization. Huh?
So I have a question on that ERP, if you can go back on the slide. So
Sure.
when you say pull out customizations from ERP, which we understand, does it only pick up the ones which are applicable for workflow kind of scenarios and convert it in workflows, or does it also look at situations where RPA can be introduced, multiple technologies, solutions can be positioned? Does it help in that way to analyze the customizations that's pulled out as a report, or it's just purely the understanding of if I've done a customization to a workflow? Why I'm asking is because a lot of customization is also at a field level, at a form level, not exactly always a workflow, right? Correct. It may be, you know, in fact, even the validation level of a field. So a lot of the customization, we are very heavy on customization, by the way, and on ERP, and we have done ERP migration on OCI also.
This is exactly the question that was put forth when we did a workshop at Mahindra & Mahindra recently. Okay. And exactly so the same question. And they also said that the field validation part of it. Can we do this?
Enhancement. So this kind of pulls that out as well, and the report gives a view of what is like a workflow oriented can be done, what is automation oriented can be.
Automation, yes, the workflow, so definitely we do.
Yeah.
Automation again is core to our platform, so we do automations as well. But then again we have to, I don't want to give a very generic answer because then it gets very specific. So based on the use case, we can tell you what all we can take away and how much we can relieve you of your customizations. But we do a lot. Consider something that GeekoBrain did it in a big way in the whole of Europe, because Europe is big on the ERP and ERP customizations and all. So it's the same technology that we have acquired and incorporated as a part of the platform. So kind of bullish to say that, but probably nobody does better than GeekoBrain. So hence, now nobody does it better than ServiceNow. So what you will get probably would be the best in the industry today. Sorry for that, but that's.
But normally when we say customization, so there are actually two parts in any ERP. One is the enhancement spots, which normally that vendor itself gives. So that is actually not a customization actually. But when we say that the code is there, and in that itself we need to change something, because for that there enhancement, because whatsoever you said about field validation, normally it goes into your enhancement. There your enhancement spots are given by any vendor. Mainly I have used to SAP, but in the other also we can get. That is not a customization normally, and that doesn't hamper also. Even if there are the
version upgrades, it will not affect.
It takes care. Correct. And there are the customization where the old companies are there. Like if you talk about anyone, so there the customization are directly on the code. So there are two type of thing. Now, I want to understand from your this tool what it will capture, which type of customer it will capture.
Yeah, go ahead.
So it will itself is identify these are the customization, how it is.
So it basically analyzes your environment, and it comes up with a report and says that this much of customization has happened, because it kind of has a baseline that this is what typically the product does, and then you have built on top of this so many forms, or you have done some code model changes. So it will then say that, okay, here is where you have done code changes, why that code changes was required, what kind of functionality you are trying to achieve. Now the same functionality can be achieved with ServiceNow as well. If answer is yes, then you can actually avoid that code optimization, that code change. So that's again taking you away from, but it's more emphasized on the code part of it, because that's what really becomes your pain point. Yeah, that's the bottom.
You have a tie-up with like Oracle, SAP, like that it is?
Yeah,
how
we have a tie-up
how you
with
know that what is the
SAP.
latest?
We have a.
This is mainly for SAP.
Yeah, we are also technology partners with SAP. Yes.
Okay. So from there you get all this.
These are cases for the logos that you see over here. So these are published cases. So there are so many customers who have like not agreed to be a reference customer for whatever the organization policy reasons and all that. In fact, most of the Indian customers don't sign up for reference customers. In fact, the global customers are that way generous. They are willing to, they use it as a marketing as well, by the way. So, these are all published studies. So we can share with you those published studies. So it is pertaining to the logos that you see over here. So I think this was a good warm-up session, and we can now actually double-click and go into the depths of each of the solutions, and I'm sure it will give you far more ideas and trigger some thoughts, and we can discuss. And of course, then we are here for dinner as well. So I'll hand it over to the next gentleman, Priyank is from my team, and he's going to talk about OT and OT service management and so on. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, good evening everyone. I've already introduced myself. So today I will cover operation technology management. In this session I will talk about how IT and OT are coming together, and Akash sir has already spoke about how we are getting into OT side of the world also. We have already covered the IT part. Now we are penetrating into the OT management layer also. So this is the agenda which I will cover. I will skip it also because we have already discussed in Akash sir's presentation, like what are the challenges managing OT environment. Then we will cover ServiceNow OTM solution, what we have done as a part of a solution. Then we will show you a quick demo. It's a live demo so that you get more understanding of how we are doing and how we are managing those assets. And finally, some key takeaways and success stories. Just some of the figures which we have done research and find out that 1 hour of unplanned downtime may cost around 250 to 700K for the manufacturing industry, which is a huge sum. Second, we also pointed out, that's the second most industry after rise of Industry 4.0 and adoption of more industry IoT devices. It's become a second most attacked industry. Recent examples, if I think of it, is like Oil India Limited. It's based out of Assam. In 2022, they got cyber attacked by hackers. Similarly, there's a US story, I think it's a Colonial Pipeline, which got attacked. And it was so serious that Joe Biden has to declare a state of emergency for that particular part of time when there is an attack, right? So it says, with newer technologies, there are some drawbacks also. So when you get more connected to the OT environment, there are risks comes along with it, right? So how we can manage those risks, how we can overcome those risks, we will talk about it. These are some of the major challenges. I think most of things has been on the Akash slide also, like lack of visibility. We have talked to our customers also, which are existing customers, and we found out that most of them are still managing in different spreadsheets, their OT assets or OT environment, I would say. Like plant A will have their own way of managing their OT assets. Plant B will have their own way of managing their OT assets. And there is no unified view where as an OT head, I can understand what is how my current estate look like and how I can do more decision-making solutions out of it, right? How I can make a strategic decision. So that was the first problem. Then everyone aware, right? There are lots of manual processes. Today also, people are in the plant floor, people are using sticky notes, right? There are whiteboard, they write instructions what to do today, how to do it today, right? And then someone will operate on it. So we will see how we can remove those, eliminate those manual processes if possible. And security risk, I've already discussed that it's a major concern after a rise of Industry 4.0 and IoT. And lastly, the workforce challenges. You see, as people were pointed out, right, we have technologies which are 20-year-old, right? And the people, you have people who are working on it are on the retirement age, or they're leaving the organization for some better opportunities. Then whatever they have done, they have learned from their experiences. And there is no documentation as of now. If they have a documentation, it is on the paper, how we can digitalize those parts so that knowledge retained within the enterprise. Yeah? So that is last, the workforce challenges. We will get more deep dive into our operational technology management solution. So it will help you to gain visibility of your OT assets. It will help you in assessing the vulnerability, and I have Jishan who will talk more. He will show you the demo of how we are helping in assess the vulnerability and preventing the downtime because of those assess and vulnerability. So within OT management, we have 4 main capabilities I will talk about. One is foundation, which is OT foundation layer. And I would say, like within manufacturing, OT is the heartbeat for your manufacturing industry. Similarly, for R to work it, foundation is the, I would say, heart of it. If foundation is correct, or I would say OT foundation is built properly, then all other things are outcome of it. Yeah. So we'll talk about OT foundation. Then we have another capability, which is OT visibility. And I think we were discussing, right, the production process mapping and all. It will come in as a part of OT visibility. Then we have OT service management. And as we were pointing out, right, our journey started with this service management only. We first started our journey with the IT ticketing tool and all. And we expanded it particular to OT side of the world as well to help you with the OT service management. And lastly, we will talk about the vulnerability response, how we can help you out there. So let's talk more about the foundation layer. So what we have done, as Akash sir was pointing out, right, we have one data model, one architecture as a part of our platform. So we called one data model, our one data model is a CMDB. And what we have done, we have extended this CMDB for your OT classes. And when we have extended this CMDB, and we have followed the Purdue model so that it is aligned. Your infrastructure, how it looks in your industry, will be coming as a part of your Purdue model in the foundation layer. So that is how we have defined our CMDB. And now comes once you have definitions, you have classes available. Now you have to pull data from various sources. So we have 3 ways of doing it. First, we have our own OT discovery tool. And I would say all the devices which are connected to IP protocol, we can discover those. And if I talk about the devices which are more into industrial protocols, we will not be able to discover those. We require tools like discovery tools which are already in your environment, or your security tools through which we can capture and build the foundation layer for you.
No separate discovery tool. You don't have
Discovery, we have it, as I pointed out, for the IP range or which are connected to your internet protocols, we can do that. But for your industrial protocols, we don't have a discovery part. We require a discovery tool or some security tool which you already have, through which we can do the auto discovery.
So in your case, you are using Clarity.
Yeah, we can.
If there is
Clarity, we can do.
Zomi or Tenable, any of these security devices or security tools that have been used, those can help us to gather that information. And we have an out-of-box integration with all these tools, which led to migrate that data onto the platform. So what happens here is, rather than looking at in silos what you have discovered here and what you have discovered there, the entire picture comes on a single frame, where you get visibility from the ServiceNow platform as well. And for those IP tools which were discovered by Nozomis or the Clarities, that information is also available now on the platform. So you see a holistic view of your assets coming from both the aspects onto the platform.
So when we are saying IT and OT coming together in a single unified view, that is what we will get it here. Yeah, currently you have a IT team, IT security team, all are sitting in different departments, and your OT team is sitting. How we can converge those together and give them a unified view. That is what the purpose of building this foundation layer. So,
what is that CMDB?
CMDB is centralized management database. So this is like building and coming up with them. Yeah.
My question is, if these tools are not there, does it connect with a legacy OT? Because that's in between.
It will not connect.
Yeah.
Some tool is required, but they don't have the OT protocol.
Because that's
that is what
they have some tool is required from where the data will come. This will only get in a centralized way, And the same dashboard, we can see both the things.
Yes.
Yes.
Visibility. Yeah, visibility
Yes,
point.
that's the
Yeah.
main thing. So that is the second.
That is the second layer which will come up. Yeah.
So
Next.
we are not on that tool as such now.
Yeah,
We have to go on that tool first and then we can connect with it.
Correct, right? Is that right?
Yeah, correct.
So then organizations which have not applied, not have that tool, and a lot of legacy plants where there's,
No, like either you are maintaining in the Excel or something.
Then isn't predictive maintenance use case covering that? Was his exact question. So his question is, if I kind of explain what you asked was very valid. His point is, eventually I want to check the machine is being maintained at the right time or not, which is a predictive maintenance use case. I can do it through an IoT solution already. Right?
Yes.
Then how is this coming in that aspect of OT security? I do understand that the vulnerability and patch management is like a regular ongoing process for which this is required.
Right.
And that is more of a situational consumption utilization based tracking for predictive maintenance. That's why technology is IoT and here the technology is just the OT solution. But
these two are different. These two are different.
But my question is, if I have to still have a purchase of a product on top of OT, then I would well ahead.
No, so
that will have said no. That will have said when you have shown no. I think Akash said no. At that time I have talked that this is above all that, correct?
Yeah. So
just give the benefit of getting together on something. Most important is business context.
Correct.
Business context.
Business. Yeah. And the third.
I think most of us may be on the verge of they don't have any tool as such for the discovery.
But you might be having some tool related to security.
We have to move because as we said that we are also on the verge of smart factory, and this OT security was the major part for us.
Yes.
So now we are in the we are started some assessment to do some this thing when partner. So we'll have an assessment first. There they will use some tool. For that time, then we'll know various things. Then we have to go for some tool for the continuous monitoring. And after that, such type of things will be useful for getting into.
Absolutely, sir. So what you've nailed is right. When you talk about like an OT security point of view, absolutely the first part is the discovery of your OT assets.
Correct.
This is not happening here.
Yes.
Second part would now become, okay, I've discovered my OT assets. What are the weaknesses that OT asset has?
Correct.
Third becomes now, how do I overcome on those OT assets? Because finally, as you rightly said at the start, these are all 20 years, 30 years legacy systems. They might have not even switched off over the period of those 30 years. But the versions that they would be using would be a real back-end versions that you would be using as compared to the 4.0 digitalization that what we are talking about. But this still needs to go further. Either the furtherness would be either an upgrade, either some patch, or either a complete changeover of the entire OT system.
But you're not doing the actionable yet. You're just
No, so absolutely. We create the
actionables.
But as Sir rightly said at the start, that finally the OEM also needs to give you that particular testing of the patch. Once that is being
OEM has to give, not also.
Once
It's not an automated process for
once that has been issued, let me complete. So once that has been issued, so once you have like a similar SCADA system, let's say you are using an Honeywell or a Siemens at your end, and you have a similar upgrade in terms of all the 4 OT devices that you are doing, then you can actually create a remediation effort, which is an automated remediation effort after the testing has been completed. Yeah, now we know that the testing is completed, the solution is available, which can be embarked on those particular OT devices. You can actually create a remediation effort from here. That is what
so that is a system of action which is talking.
That is a system of action that what we carry. So if you ask me that, will we do the testing for the patching? No, because that is still be dependent upon the OEM.
Oh, yes.
Once the OEM has confirmed that this is your testing that you have completed, then the system of remediation, which you might go up and start doing on each and every OT system.
Remediation is what you automate.
Yes, so that is what you can consolidate and automate. Absolutely. Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks.
What happened now? If you ask me, this is very important for all of us.
Yes.
Yes, a big
Maybe not now, but in future, your team is here, correct? From this side, like any example of Indian company who are using this or planning how to use?
So-
that we should understand in detail.
So there is one company, I'm not sure whether I can take the name. We have done the POC has been completed, but I'm not abide to tell the name. So it's in an energy company. It's an energy company where we are.
Because of the industry type.
Yeah, it's an energy
You can
company.
understand how it is because industry type wise this depends.
Yeah. So it's an energy company where we are doing that POC.
But again, you have to see to it like suppose we are not as of now ServiceNow customer.
Right.
So is that we can go directly on this or something else is required and then we should go for this type of model. That is also important point for
Right. So let's say you are, let's take a simple example. Let's say you are using a Clarity, since the example that you took and that was the point that you brought it out at that time. Now Clarity has a tendency of doing a discovery
also.
Yeah. Clarity has the capability of identifying the vulnerability by doing an active query. So your two aspects, that is the discovery and the security, gets covered through Clarity. Now you have that information from Clarity. Again, you don't need to have, let's say, ServiceNow point of view. If you say that, okay, I need to still have a discovery because Clarity has given me, not required.
Yeah.
Because you can actually fetch Clarity data on the platform via the out-of-box integration that what we have with Clarity. And it's a two-way traffic. So let's say, if we are trying to discover anything from our side onto the OT devices, we will also help Clarity to let them know, okay, there is a new device or a new asset that what you have identified, and or you can add it up at your level. Once that is being done, finally your OT is on a security level, the vulnerability is being identified. Now the aspect of the entire chain follow is you want to have a visibility in terms of what is critical, what is business impact that it is creating, what is contextualization that it brings upon in terms of the criticality that the security has provided. Now let's take a classic example. Something like a Clarity comes up and say, this is critical for an OT device.
Yes.
Does it implies for your business point of view? Because probably that particular SCADA system would not be even active in your premise.
Yeah.
It might still give you because it has identified and said this is critical, and that's why you don't want to waste your time in patching that or trying to
but
build
it will
that
give
up.
only for my devices.
Yeah, no. It will give you for your devices, but Clarity has a tendency that it will give you the OT
On.
security view on a global devices, because what is critical, what is...
No, that is the additional thing.
That is the additional
thing they give, but if you want, it will give first our own premise, whatsoever assets is there.
Yes.
So that assets, OT assets, vulnerability, that visibility they will give. Over and above, they may say other things, and it's just a note for us.
So I think what Jishan is trying to say, within our OT vulnerability management solution, we also have a risk assessment in place where we tied up with your business risk. Means if I am using this particular SCADA, it is how much my business will be getting impacted and which criticality I have to target first. So that is what he wants to point out.
Just a minute. Absolutely right, sir, when you said that it will identify your OT devices. After OT devices identification, it will do a vulnerability check on OT devices. After the vulnerability check, it will let you know what are critical, medium, high vulnerability. Now let's say it has done a scan on your 4 OT devices. I'm just taking a vague example here. Out of those 4 OT devices, it has taken the charge. It says, okay, OT1 device has 4 critical vulnerabilities. Now this 4 OT vulnerability criticality is on the database that what Clarity would have on a global exponential level of identifying vulnerabilities. What we bring in the value here, as Akash Bhai was talking about on the prioritization, the business contextualization, is this visibility chart that what we create on the platform helps you to understand that which particular OT device is actually business applicable to you. Because if there is
So it is more contextual.
Yes. If a critical vulnerability is identified on an OT device which is not business applicable to you, then why we are wasting
time in resolving that first.
That issue. Whereas on the other hand, there might be a medium vulnerability which you would identify on an OT device, which could turn up to become a critical one in your environment. And that is the business contextualization and prioritization that what we bring in through our platform. And third is the holistic visibility that you get, because you might have different plants, so you want to also understand that, okay, I want to segregate my visibility as per my plant. Let's say you might have a plant in India, you might have a plant in London, you might have a plant in Tokyo, or within the Indian states that you might be working upon. I want to have a visibility on plant wise. I want to see which particular OT device within my plant is on a critical vulnerability. These are some of the business contextualization and granularity that what we bring in terms of how you visualize this and where do you spend your time. Because finally, patching is not a simple process in any of the OT devices. That is where the resolution of time is very important, because I don't want to go up and do something which has been on a global level being told to me it is critical, which might be completely irrelevant to your organization. And that is what the OT visibility and the OT security response part brings in the value when we talk about the OT vulnerability response, that what we talk about. So yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. So probably I'm not going to get into the OT part any further now because I've almost explained it.
I think most I will run it through the demo now, because you have understand the context and how we are doing OT management. Just give me a second. 2 or 3 demos. The first demo is of OT head who wants to understand, who wants to have a complete view of how his complete OT environment look like. So in the right side you can see this is a Robert Rabeck, who is the OT head. When he logs into the system, he can go to his favorites and he can click OT assets overview dashboards. Here he will get complete picture of how many sites he is maintaining, what are the total assets discovered, how many are unclassed, like whether it is PLC, SCADA or all, because sometimes those informations are not coming because we are doing an auto discovery. So this has to be checked and needs to be completed. So this information is readily available. If you are using some Excel and all, you have to go through it, what are missing informations, right? And then it does the classification in various ways, right? Like OT assets by site. So they have multiple 11 sites, how the OT distributions are there. Then by classes, we already told that all those classes. And also for the Purdue level, which all level of Purdue OT asset devices you have it. And finally, from the manufacturing perspective, what all manufacturers you have and how many OT assets you have it. If you want to drill down into, say, Rockwell Automation and find out what all you are using as a part of Rockwell, he can go and see it from here. This is just a out-of-the-box dashboard. You can configure more dashboards based on all the data which we are coming. So it is completely configurable as this is known for ServiceNow, right? So you can create new tabs or you can do edit of these and play with the data, right? And this is his, I would say, workspace, where he will drill down on each site. Earlier we have shown a complete view. Now we are talking about the Atlanta site. So he has 11 sites. He can go into all of each sites and try to see what is happening. Here, that vulnerability is capturing. We are seeing that how many are critical vulnerability, where the vulnerability is in which plant, where in which assembly line, all those things can be seen here, the vulnerability risk part. And this risk score which we were talking about, right? This is a risk score which we are calculating based on your business context and other things, that you have to show it, that vulnerability risk. Okay. Because it is not configured that part in me, as we planned, right, earlier. But I can show, here you can see what kind of risk is here. Yeah?
That is there.
Yeah, it is there, but that remediation and all those things are not there. So these are the kind of risk which is it has captured from your tool, and then it is giving the state where it is under investigation. So these are our workflows which will be get triggered, right? We did the assessment and then we start doing what are the next steps and what needs to be done.
So hold the thought.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. So what you see here on the VIT front is what we discovered, the vulnerability that could have come from a security solution like Clarity, Nozomi, and we have captured that data here. We create actually an incident out of each vulnerability, but on the basis of uniqueness of the vulnerability. So let's say you have 5 SCADA systems of the same make and nature, and you have identified same vulnerabilities. That means it will not create 5 incidents.
Yeah.
It will create one incident and tag the entire stack of those SCADA systems to that one incident itself. So what does it do here is it basically does the grouping of vulnerabilities and makes the count of the vulnerabilities also go down. And as an analyst, who's a vulnerability analyzer, he will be able to now identify that, okay, I've got one unique vulnerability which is having this particular incident, and I can see what are the number of SCADA devices that are having the similar vulnerabilities. And this we do for IT and OT both. As a convergence.
I was about to ask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So IT and convergence both, absolutely. Yeah.
Most of us.
Yeah.
Part of it's
Yes, absolutely. So they might be doing to the same thing, but the remediation effort that what they give it back to you and put across how do you remediate the entire factor. The remediation task can be also been created from the platform.
Can be tracked to closure.
And then we track to closures, and also you can do a revalidation as well. Because revalidation becomes the biggest process in terms of if that has been closed or not. Sorry?
Basically getting discipline into the entire process.
Yeah, so the entire process of the remediation task is something that if you have identified that when an advisory comes around on an IT or an OT device where this particular vulnerability, let's take a classic example, when Log4j happened. Log4j happened, that time everybody was concerned that how has this happened, what will we do, how to take care of it. But what was the reason behind Log4j was, okay, if you are beyond a Microsoft patch of MS08 or MS012, you won't be hit with the impact of Log4j. That was the advisory as well. So what we do here is, you can do a backtracking as well, where he was showing you the workspaces. If you see on the 4th tab there, you can actually create a war room, put up the CVE or the CVSS ID, and find across that whether that CVE or the CVSS or the patch name has been deployed on my entire asset community or not. So then it gives you the information by default because of the CMDB, as what Akash Bhai explained, that the common model database that what we have, that brings in the value here. Because now your asset has been clear that, okay, out of my 100 assets that I've discovered, 75 does not have that MS08 and MS12 patch that is required for Log4j. And I can actually by a click of button say, okay, patch right now. So that is where the platform has the capability of applying the patch to all those 12 or 75 assets that I'm talking about. And we can proudly say that people who are using vulnerability response, I don't want to name the customers, but those were my banking customers in Bombay, they did not have a Log4j challenge at all to face because they were at that minimum level of patching which was required for the Log4j to not exploit that particular vulnerability was taken care. So this is where the value brings in on the OT and the IT side both.
So now I will show you how he can do further drill down and do the analytics part of it. Yeah. So if I go and I want to see how many discovery sources through which it is collecting the data, I can group by discovery source. And you can see these are the various sources through which we have built a CMDB and the data is coming and doing the auto discovery as well. Yeah. And we can also do, let me show you, the interactive analysis where you can slice and dice your data more to get more understanding how it works, right? So currently it is grouped by site and stacked by OT asset classes, and this aggregation is count. You can change that, you can do whatever things you can think for making your strategic decisions. You can build those things as well here. So this is one of the visualization and dashboard from your OT head perspective. Similarly, we have dashboard for OT risk manager, but similar kind of this, but he will get more granularity into the risk part of it rather than getting the holistic picture. And similarly, we have a dashboard for one of your production engineer who has to work on any incident, and that also, he has its own separate workspace where he will be dedicatedly seeing his own incidents, how he has to take care of those incidents, how he can prioritize his work, that can also be part of it. So yeah, that was, I want to show it, but because of lack of time, we can have a separate session where we can drill down all these.
Can you bring in that one?
Which one?
The OT security part.
Acha, your Robert wala. Robert is very famous in security.
Yeah, the brown, not the
yeah.
One. So in terms of the entire OT security point of view, you can see the entire view here in terms of criticality, in terms of your risk rating, that what you bring in here, and also the remediation state that what you are in. So you get a holistic view of that particular front. And if you can show the all tickets part as well.
What kind of prompts or analytics are you doing?
So prompts and alerts are all based on the information that what we capture from the OT security devices, that what vulnerabilities that what you've identified, that is what you'll see on the criticality aspect. And after that, what configurations that you put in terms of your risk scoring at the back end, and also on what are the remediation tasks that you have created that will help you to understand on those dashboarding part. And you can actually create the risk rating part as well on the risk calculator that you have created. Yeah. That can be customized. Oh, that can be customized. Mostly it is configurable. The templates are very readily available and that can be provided to you. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I will invite now Abhijit to come and talk more about shop floor workplace, right?
All right, guys. So this session, we are trying to focus on something which is not been addressed till now. So in solution architect world, right, we have a magic triangle of process, people, and technology, right? So most of our conversations revolves around technology. We have invested a lot. We are trying to build the technology pillar, digital transformation and all. But we often tend to forget the most important pillar, which is people, right? If at all people are not adopting that technology, then it is worthless. So in this session, we'll try to focus on these people within the organization. And I'm sure everyone has covered a lot of aspects when it comes to your corporate users who are sitting in offices, who has laptop, desktop, who are part of your AD, all your security, everything is been taken care of these users. But there are users who are deskless, who are running your shop floor. And surprisingly, 70-80% of your organization has these many users, shop floor users, who doesn't have desktop laptops, they are not part of AD, they may not have a mobile phone devices also, right? But they are running your show every day. So what do we do about that? How do we incorporate them into our technology, right? And this is a huge number, 35.6. So as I said, I do manage a couple of conglomerates within my region, which are huge conglomerates who are also into manufacturing, oil and gas, lot of players in raw material supply, every aspects of it, right? So I had a very interesting conversation with one gentleman. I was trying to understand their strategy around these deskless workers. So as he said, 70% of their organization strength is around these deskless workers. They do not have a laptop desktop. What they have is a common desktop placed in a factory. I'm sure if you resonate with this kind of strategy, just feel free to raise your hands. So similar exercise, what they do, they have these desktops, bulky desktops at the factories. Whenever as a manufacturing user, I want to raise something, I want to understand my PTOs, I want to talk to my HR, I want to understand how the health and safety of my day-to-day life will place in. I just need to go over there, I talk to my manager, use his credentials, he give me the rest of the information. Or if I want to raise some issues with my corporate, I have to jump to multiple teams because I don't have a direct contact with them. It's kind of disconnected environment which I am getting into. So this is the problem what these kind of employees. All the factory employees face similar kind of issues. The corporate employees are someone who are agents, who are addressing the needs of these factory employees. Their problem is different. They do have a dedicated agents for dedicated vertical. HR would have a different support team. Health and safety would have a different support team. They do not have details or transparency on the contacts or the personas they are interacting with. They do not have the escalation metrics to talk to. Siloed information, disconnected processes, what they have, right? So this is an overall view of manufacturing users. So we have couple of use cases over here, Unilever and Siemens. Similar set of use cases, disconnected, they feel disconnected, they don't feel they are part of the organization because they don't have the enough resources. Now what does it mean? When you talk about such employees, they don't have a right channel to communicate with the corporate. They do have different tools to talk to. If I want to raise an HR, I have to go to a different portal. I may have an intranet portal given access on that particular desktop. There would be a separate manager support, my entire dependency on the manager. There is paper pen processes which I deal into. And over here, who are the agents, they are filling the siloed tools. They are Basically, the information is scattered. They have to take a lot of time to address the issues, right? So what we have done, as everyone talked about, it's a platform. Think of ServiceNow as a Lego block. So you have a foundation. On top of it, you're building your blocks, right? So similarly, according to our experience in manufacturing, we have created certain out-of-the-box solutions. So if you talk about manufacturing, your personas, suppliers, vendors, users, all these personas are there as a data model into the system. Your POs, your orders, all these are part of the data model within the system, right? Now, all your existing tools, HR tools, payroll tools, all these tools are integrated with the platform, and we are running it as an engagement layer on top of it, right? Now, what we are giving you because of this, since everything is connected to platform now, and we are giving the interface to communicate, all your manufacturing users, they can contact the corporate through the dedicated consoles. Now, that console can run on a kiosk, which can be placed in the factories. They can use their mobile phones and communicate via SMSs. They don't need to be on a specific device to have a communication. Simple SMS communication can be also placed. They can communicate the agent's HR through the same console. All my tools are there in the same console itself. I'm not running into multiple consoles and raising issues. Everything is visible. I'll show a short demo just to just show you how it feels. An agent has a dedicated workspace. It's every information of that particular user is visible. What exactly the problem is, how the problem will be addressed, everything is visible in terms of the tickets, right? Now, this is what we do. Now, what advantage? The journey of the employee is similar, be it corporate, be it the field users. Every employee goes through the same journey. So we had our solutions which are built on our platform called as HRSD, which was helping the business unit of HR. So we extended the same platform to the factory users as well. Since everything is integrated into one platform, it's unified. All the information is bringing as a workspace in a unified manner. It's a user-friendly thing. Your factory users may not be tech savvy. They may not understand the English also. It may happen, right? So you need a multilingual model and very easy to understand model which can be surfaced as an interface to them. So this is what exactly we have done in our platform, and it's an efficient use, right? If you have that magazine in front of you, just turn the couple of pages, you'll see around by 2028, you will lose, there would be a gap of around 1.4 million skilled employees. That's an statistics which is coming across, right? So that's a major case with all the manufacturing users. The employee attrition, right? How the skilled employees can be retained. If at all, if experienced user who has a tribal knowledge is moving out of the organization, how can a new guy come in and how can he understand that information very easily? So you need some kind of digitization at the factory layer. So this is exactly what we are doing with the deskless workers. Now I'll give you a short demo.
So here,
yep.
We have various, we can say the log books. That is we can configure.
Yes, you can digitize that. I will show you.
So we can configure the way we have.
Yep.
So it's a different result.
Yep. So I'll talk about the process. Let's understand how the user, who is the manufacturing user, goes through the day-to-day life, right? So these are 4 personas. So Mike is our key guy, who is the user who works in the factory. David is the manager of Mike. Elias is an HR, and there is Miriam, who is the health and safety administrator. Okay. Now, as I said, you'll have a similar kind of chaos at the factories. You don't need to have a credentials. You don't need to place these users into AD, or maybe you don't need a manager to be an intermediate between these users, right? So they can use their simple security badge. Obviously, this is not our technology. We are relying on the kiosk users, but they can use their security badge. They can simply scan it and they can see what all things are visible to them. And these are very simple to understand. He may not be a tech savvy. He doesn't need a whole lot of options of platform features in front of them, right? All they need is simple information on their day-to-day job. So this user is trying to understand the schedule of his, right? So he may be doing an attendance, right? Whenever he comes to factory, he goes out of factory. He needs to understand whether that attendance is properly documented or not. So he can see the entire schedule. Okay, he can also see if he has any personal information. So personal information can be his address, mobile phone. He can edit that using the same tool. Okay, if he wants to understand, okay fine, I do have some upcoming vacation and you want to apply for a PTO and you want to understand the balance, right? Simply go on my PTO balance. He can understand, okay fine, 23 days are available, request for a PTO, request for a time off, and just notify the date, and this particular request will go to his manager. Now manager is always on the go. He doesn't need to be on the kiosk. This he can use from the browser or can be from the mobile phone and simply approve or deny the request. Okay. Okay. So he wants to ask a simple question to HR. Generally it goes through the emails or through the paper pen kind of process, but he can simply type his question saying that congratulations, he is getting married and he wants his dependent to be added into the insurance. What would be the process? So similar to the manager, the HR also gets similar kind of information. From this portal itself, HR will draft a SMS that will be a way of collaborating with the employee. He doesn't have to switch to a different console. From this portal itself, they'll draft an SMS, and as a user, factory user, I'll get a simple SMS notification with all the details which I have asked for, right? Now, this is one of the example. Let's assume this is very general scenario, reporting health and safety, because they work in a very risky environment, right? If at all anything is going wrong, they want to notify them well in advance, right? So similarly, he has an option to report in health and safety incidents. He'll just click on that. He'll fill up the details where he has seen this incidents, whether he is the party to this incidents or just witness to it, right? All the information he'll fill. He'll also write the details that there is some kind of leakage in the room and he wants that particular leakage to get addressed. Now once he submit that, he'll also notify the time and all. Once he submit that, there would be a similar kind of case raised with the health and safety admin. He can understand what is the severity of the case, where exactly this thing has happened, when this has happened, and he can act upon it. So this kind of experience we can deliver to the factory users, which is very different from what we deliver to the corporate users. He has different bunch of features, different bunch of tools which they access. Here it's a completely different story. Coming back to the use cases, what I talked about, the Unilever part of it, whereas they were feeling disconnected, they had a lot of siloed, lot of tools to address. Factory users were not able to communicate with the corporates. Using the tool, they have consolidated around 15 siloed processes, 15 siloed tools with the single engagement layer. They don't have to jump to a different tool. Yeah.
I have a question here. So I think at Bridgestone, across functions and various front end, back end, everything, we have been doing many such initiatives. But like within manufacturing, I am looking forward for some kind of a business model, because these days, whether we talk of sustainability or any other investments, the capex investment is the biggest challenge, and the biggest thing is because it has to be value driven naturally, and you have to have a proper business case until you have a very let's say a strategic call, which is again a big challenge for the management to take. So I'll give you an example, because like in sustainability, we are the only site across who is 100% carbon neutral today, and that is very rare in India. So I'll give you an example, like for our energy gas, we have collaborated with Thermex and TOCEL exactly. So they are doing this biomass for us as a residual, based on residual waste, and this is based on the OPEX model. So I just want to throw a very different perspective here, because the biggest challenges in manufacturing for us is what is the value I get from this. There is manual processes. Yes, we are looking forward for some low-hanging fruits to convert it into a digital, and we should have some value out of it. So putting it just for a sanction purpose is one way, but ongoing value over a period of time, that's more important. So like, do you have any such offerings where you say that we will put our assets, you don't have to invest, and we will run this show for you, and based on your number of users or let's say the savings values, we will take a, let's say, based on revenue, whatever. Outcome-based model. So that will be a very easy, because then we don't have to get into the calculations of like POC, etc., etc. You say, yeah, exactly. So that is one-time exercise people do. They show inflated, exaggerated data, and then it happened, and later on everybody forgets, and we are remained with some system which is not so efficient. So that is also one of the, not for all cases, because the way is digital. I think these days 70-80% of industries are in some kind of digital journey. Nobody can say it's not required. But only thing is, the one challenge which is not reflecting, as so that I put that point, is we are looking for some offerings, because recently we did, like for material handling equipment or automation. So we have been doing cases with many manufacturers who said that we will work on OPEX model. So like I am putting 10 contractors for shifting material, and they say my this robotic vehicle will be here, automated guided vehicle will be here, and then you remove that 8 workers, only you need 2, and then you will save this much. And I am also not looking for a, let's say, payback which is very attractive. What I am saying is that every year my labor cost will increase. Today it is not beneficial, but it is, let it break even. Then also I will go, because future I will save. So
dependency also will be.
Yeah, but if you if we compare ourselves with Europe or US, the labor cost here and there is way beyond. Yeah. So
exactly, there we have that ROI calculation.
Absolutely.
Because the labor cost there is high.
Yeah.
In India, the labor cost is anyways cheap. In fact, technologies and tools are expensive.
Yeah.
So we are asked that give us an ROI, which is a fact. Payback duration and
So, yeah.
And honestly, I was literally assuming that is the case with me, because we operated on a small scale, right? And maybe with you guys, I mean, it is very fair.
Yeah, like for
But every time I have to justify with my management, and it's a pain. Really.
Yeah. So for direct laborers, exactly. So we we have what we have been doing is like the OT management or attendance management or everything we have put on this kind of modules. And even their paycheck, everything now they can check on their mobiles, and we have Ascent and everything. So even travel is also like using Joho and all those things. So all your bills get settled by automatically based on authority chart. You don't have to chase for it, and it is, for certain level, you don't even have to approve it. Just put it and it will get it. So all these things are getting popularity, but I am looking for, if you say few cases where it is word proven, and then ROIs are good, we can adopt even by investing. But where you say that no, it is still like but then we can offer you some other business model, that also we are open to look. Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
So this is something which Akash has already been speaking for. 4 Industry is something which we have recently acquired. So 4 Industry is ServiceNow partner who's based out of Netherlands. They build a lot of solutions on ServiceNow platform itself. So as we were emphasizing, we have our low code, no code capabilities. So they build these solutions, and this was acquired by ServiceNow. ENY is also one of our partners. They build similar solutions for manufacturing industries called as Smart Daily Management. These 2 solutions we have acquired and we have incorporated into our manufacturing workflows. Now what these guys are exactly doing, they are basically digitizing the day-to-day processes in the shop floor, which sir was referring to, right? So as I said, there is a lot of tribal knowledge. There is an experienced engineer who goes to the machine, they does a lot of maintenance activity. All this is in the mind of that engineer, or maybe on the paper pen, right? So these guys digitize them in the form of task, and these tasks are being followed, and if at all that user is leaving the organization, someone new is also coming, then there is a limited or I can say a less learning cycle which has been involved, right? So fast learning cycle. So top 3 advantages: digitizing the day-to-day processes which are happening on the shop floor, attracting and retaining the talent, because everything is been documented now. You don't have to run through the tribal knowledge, and since it is already been digitized, the productivity, if at all there is any change in the guard, still the productivity cannot be impacted. So this is what I had. I mean, this is a pretty new acquisition, so we don't have much data around it. But yes, we were doing a lot of manufacturing workflows, but this is the new introduction to that.
by itself, they have to be business for quite some time. So the company comes along with a lot of customers and install this.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'll just share, maybe it's useful because last 4 years we have been in Europe. So, there are concepts for integrated work system. So actually we have partnered, like Bristol, Europe has partnered with BNY, and they have taken a model of manufacturing excellence from PhD. And actually for India, we have paid $1 billion euro, BNY, just for the introduction of it. So the thing is, when we say integrated work system, it comes with a lot of back-end IT.
Yes.
Where your quality, safety, your energy, maintenance, and everything comes on the top of engagement layer, and bottom is all architecture, everything.
Correct.
And backed by all the excellence models, which works on that. And there is a Power BI based tool where like equipment efficiency is very important, and you need to prioritize your losses.
Correct.
That can be taken from equipment directly through OT and all those.
In fact, a lot of customers that we are speaking to, they are already setting up data lakes, and all this operational data is streamed up onto the data lakes, and that's where they draw the performance metrics.
Same thing we use
Wonderware, yeah.
And then we started working on that. We have to have a cloud-based system.
Correct.
We can't work on isolated servers. But then we face the challenges of data redundancy and also the security, because once this fails, we have no plan B.
Oh,
That
okay.
is a big learning. Like, we have our big process industry, if we stop for 2 hours, take a 1 day to restart.
Yeah, I understand.
So,
Correct.
there are some learnings, I think, when we go for this big system. But then now, we as a company have shifted to preparation. We need to stop it because that part is not ready up to that. Europe is more automated, more
Yeah.
low cost.
Anything automation, first sell it to Europe. They are the first one to, bite into it. So always any OEM for that matter, if they have to show references, you'll normally see the Europe logos first.
Even they are on 70 lakhs a year.
Yeah.
So if you say I'm saving 5 levels, so your ROI is like.
See, more than that, see one thing we removed out of the equation. See, one thing we removed out of the equation when we speak about this ROI. It's not always manpower cost and the investment in the tool. It's also in eliminating the risk. There are a lot of the dependency. उसका अनफॉर्चुनेटली डॉलर वैल्यू CFO को समझाना मुश्किल पड़ता है कि बॉस अगर ये मैनुअल रखेंगे तो कल क्या रिस्क होगा. हाँ, कॉस्ट अवॉइडेंस में है. हाँ. Correct. Future ready.
So we are going to be talking about unleash the power of innovation with field and customer service management. So that's a lot of English. Nitish, what does it mean exactly? Can you just simplify it?
It's a too long name, man. It's like a kind of a confusing, right? Keep reading. But don't worry. ServiceNow helps so many customers across the globe just to simplify their life. And we are here again to simplify all this long English and long requirement, and so many things are there. So we'll just show you how we are kind of simplifying a lot of things here.
Sounds perfect. Right, so let's go to the next slide.
Okay.
How we're going to do it. Right, let's go to the next slide.
Okay.
What is this motorbike about? You spoke about
I
such
don't
a
know.
lot of English, and what is this about?
I don't know. You tell me. Is it your bike?
I would love it to be mine, but yeah. What is it about? Just come on, tell us.
So I see in the room, so many people here coming from different industries, right? So many things you are manufacturing, and somewhere you are helping each other. And when you say each other, you are customers of each other, right? We are also your customer, and you are our customer. So we thought, okay, how do we make sure that all these are connected in a best way? And this is what he bought this one, and I just thought, okay, let me put together. That's where all these companies are coming together just to make one bike. And this is one of the most popular bike, Pulsar.
Sounds like
Bajaj
ServiceNow.
Auto.
Bringing everything together.
Oh, look at Bharat Forge is making something special gears over here, right? There, right on the top is basically Cummins is making power just so that it can shine. When it goes in the workshop for repair thing, obviously there's a Kirloskar pump which is sprinting all this water just to make it shine when it comes out of the workshop, right? And not to forget about Bridgestone tire here. Without that, this will be just lying machine over
No
there.
bike is going to run without that. Yeah.
That's true. That's the wheel of India, right? Okay. So that's just trying to show how we are kind of connected with each other. Some of the guys on this side, other side, they're also contributing. If I replace this bike with those things, this will be there. And Tata Motors. That's the reason I have. No, that's a new business. That's a new business. I know because. So that's a new business for you, for two-wheeler. You can explore. There's no harm in exploring.
I think
we have been doing that, but no profitability.
Oh my God! Then I should have to keep Mercedes over here.
Yeah,
I had
make it a Mercedes next time.
Yeah, I had that image. But I thought somebody will ask me, Nitish, तूने buy किया क्या? मैं बोलता नहीं भाई इतना.
Ask me, no, I would not be happy.
Oh yeah, you can buy, man. Right, I can't. But not to forget, finally, Tata Motors is there just to carry all these bikes. So yes, they are also contributing. So all we are contributing, helping each other, making everyone's life very simple. And that's where the world works with ServiceNow. The other thing, yes, this bike can go to the workshop, right? Anything breaks, okay, fix up appointment, it can go to the workshop. But this is a Mumbai airport, where the entire HVAC, which is the cooling system, all the pumps are being supplied by whom? Kirloskar. If something breaks down over there, obviously the AC system cannot go to workshop. Somebody has to go to the Mumbai airport just to fix it up over there. And when they go over there, they need to know what to fix. They need to know the skills. They need to know what things they need to carry, including tools, testing tools, spare parts, so many things. And along with this Mikesh also, because he also is a partner of mine, so I need to carry him also as a part of my crew. Will you come with me?
Of course, man.
Oh, wow, he's ready, man.
Chuck the India.
Okay, yeah, that's the Chuck the India. So, we'll not cover this one. Akash covered, in detail. Yes, a lot of customers are there. But one thing, what is this, Mikesh?
Right, so you spoke about a lot of things like bike and all of that. So this is what we actually do, right? In terms of what is it that we can actually help from a CSN perspective as ServiceNow. We can do installations, we can do maintenance. It can be planned maintenance, it can be scheduled maintenance, it can be maintenance, basis demand. We can do inspections, we can do break fixes. All of this is something that we can really help with as ServiceNow from a customer service and a field service perspective.
So you mean to say you are going to inspect me? Whether I'm delivering a proper demo or application or not?
I can monitor that using
Oh my God. So yes. You can fix heartbreak also?
Sorry,
no?
Not the space
Yaar. Okay. So this is basically all areas over and above is customer who is making a request through any channel. Right? Call, self-service, walk-in, whichever channel he comes over there, you are able to do that. Especially in manufacturing plant, the scheduled maintenance plays a very big role. You plan a shutdown, right, which is well planned in advance. All this should be in a sequence, in parallel, timely based, right? You cannot afford somebody is going there and trying to figure out, here, I forgot this spanner, now I need to go back over there. No, those can't be there. So you can plan all this your scheduled maintenance also in advance. It's time to
actually show stuff now.
Okay,
yes.
If you say so. Okay, so quickly I'll show you. What I'm trying to show is basically, end of the day, somebody has to work upon. And when somebody has to work upon, it's the task he has to complete. Who's giving him task? Somebody, it could be a system, which is in this area. A work order is getting created. Why? Because somebody raised the case. Somebody could be my machine itself, because temperature is increasing, pressure is going high, and so simply saying, hey, I'm just boiling. Can somebody help me? Machine itself is telling. Or some customer is calling, hey, bhai, aa jao. Like for example, in Mumbai airport, if AC is down, somebody has to go and attend that. So you get case created, or maybe directly it is getting converted into a work order. Work order is getting assigned to the right person because system knows who's the skilled person, right? Mikesh is a very good actor. I can give it to him. Yes, please.
Like generally in the shop floor, like let's say maintenance guy, he has to attend the breakdown.
Yes.
And now they do a troubleshooting, and after that they have to fill some logs or reports. It takes a lot of time. And generally when we see digitization, either we give them some system, whether they have to punch in or maybe you give a tab or mobile, again punch in something, which still takes time. So like in this system, like do you have something like he speaks and automatically gets it?
That's basically an interface.
We don't want to bother them with
Okay, so voice to text conversion, right? So there has to be kind of a, I would say, third-party application which can convert a voice to text. The problem here is basically what happens the moment I say, okay, Smikesh, I fix this and over there, bhai jara hai to chal raha hai kya dinner ke liye aaj raat ko? Okay, that is also getting captured. So it should be in a way which can be utilized in a perfect way. Again, I might speak English, I might speak Hindi, Marathi, beech mein all these kind of mixes will come over there. Yes, and exactly. And we are not master of all understanding those kind of English, all this, different. That becomes a very difficult. If it is there, yes, I can convert and I can put it over here. Okay, so what I'll do right now, because we just got 2 minutes, in 2 minutes I need to show the demo. So what is this? This is the portal for the customer to approach you for anything, any complaint, any request, any service, new installation, everything, whatever, he wants to do it. All the knowledge articles are available there also, how to fix, how to, increase the cooling or, repair that part. Or if they want to approach through a live, chat also. Live could be talking to some person or just, writing, taking advantage of a knowledge article. Or if somebody is not able to address that, directly connect to the agent also. So all these things are available here. This is a one area of a self-service. But obviously you can make a call, you can write an email, whatever is required, you can do it. Thing is available on the mobile device also. So I'm just showing you on the portal as of now. So what I do is basically I go and say request something. I'm not getting into too much into that because just 1 minute and 30 seconds is left. Okay, so let's say I say okay, request something. It could be anything, new thing, or in this case what I do is basically I say support and I say I want to create a case for a product. In this scenario, I simply go and select a product which is nothing but my HVAC. So I can scroll down or I can simply type here. Okay, and I say this is the issue related to HVAC cooling. Okay, and I say this is not cooling. I'm just keeping it short. Okay. And I say submit. The moment I submit, it will give me a reference number, which is nothing but a case number. Going forward, you can refer this 20493. Behind the scene, this is for a person who's raising. Anybody could be requester, my plant person, my customer, anybody could kind of requesting. Behind the scene, I need to project another screen and pull up there. Okay, so I quickly go through that. What is happening here is, because we got this case over there, now the person who's handling this case, the playbook is coming into picture. It is guiding that person, okay, what are the things needs to be done in a very structured way. So you are capturing, you are updating those parts, and finally you're saying, okay, by the way, this has been done. Can I go and create any kind of a work order? See, this is because I can't see here, and this is just, I'm just copy pasting there, just for. So this is basically, okay, coming into completely different area. Because of things are over there, the automatically work order has been created. Now this work order has a specific task. Again, those tasks are basically getting created for this specific work order because I selected one of the template as the HVAC is not working properly. Because this template has been selected over there, it is creating a set of a task and it is assigning to the right person who knows those kind of a detail, right person who can repair those kind of thing. So what I'll do right from here quickly, there is one more thing which I just minimize here. Is it coming here? So what I'm trying to show is the entire thing is coming on mobile device right now. It is coming on the mobile device. Entire task is getting allocated to them. And you can see the questionnaire which is tied to this specific request there. And you select the questionnaire, you mark safety is done, this thing has been closed, not closed, and you keep closing. And finally you close the task. So after all this, Mikesh, I leave it to you. You need to.
Yeah, I think maybe we just show the. Right, essentially we wanted to talk what really makes us unique. I'll just quickly wrap it up. I'll say, so basically, as we've already spoken continuously, the fact that we are a single platform, the fact that there is embedded intelligence, the fact that we have no-code, no-code that helps us make changes quickly, the fact that we have massive scalability, the fact that there's a large number of users that we have. A lot of the features that we're talking about are actually built into the core itself. So a lot of these things really come together to make ServiceNow very unique. We can talk about it in later during dinner, so I wouldn't really take too much time on this. But that's the crux of what we are really trying to show from a service management perspective.
Right. So in this game, our competition, basically our technology has just kicked us out and we could not score goal in 12 minutes. Anyway. Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.